Hi, welcome to another Who Are We interview. Through this discussion, you will hear from Dan, co-founder of Bookboost, about their solution, geographical focus, typical client profile, and their backstory. Dan emphasizes the importance of a hotel-specific B2C Marketing CRM for effective guest engagement and personalization, as opposed to a generic B2B Sales CRM. He talks about the emergence of the CDP, Customer Data Platform, and highlights the Guest Journey Builder and Unified Inbox, both of which help create a seamless customer experience. Really hope you enjoy the conversation. Hi, Dan. Firstly, thank you for Bookboost. For coming on board as an expert partner with Revenue Hub. Delighted to have you. Secondly, thank you for joining us today in one of our Who Are We discussions, so we get a chance to hear a little bit more about Bookboost, what they're all about. We'll save that for a little bit later in the conversation. So first thing we like to do is to get you to introduce yourself, then we'll talk a little bit about some of the basics of the company, where you are, when you were founded, and then we'll get into actually talking about the technology solution. So yeah, welcome to the conversation. Let me hand it over to you, and if you'd be kind enough just to introduce yourself, that would be wonderful.
Absolutely, and thank you very much, Trevor, for having us on the show.
You're welcome.
My name is Daan de Bruijn. I'm one of the founders of Bookboost. My role is Director of People and Strategy in the company. And Bookboost is a Swedish hotel tech company. We have founded the company in 2017, and today have customers in 32 countries.
Wow.
Mostly,
Okay.
most of the customers are in Northwest Europe.
Yep.
Yeah, and the platform is being used by 15 million guests. So it has, we'll get into that, but it's a CRM essentially that has also a guest facing site with the guest app and so forth. So loads of guests using it from a day-to-day base.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm very excited to introduce Bookboost because we're still a relatively new company and very excited.
And when did you say you started? Sorry, when?
2017.
2017. Right. Okay. So you would have had, crikey, a couple of years. Then you were thrown into the whole. We were all thrown into the pandemic scenario, and then we've come out of that. So that would be that's an interesting few years you've had.
Totally. The first, without going into detail, now the first product that we've built was guest messaging. Then COVID came about, and throughout COVID, we co-developed the CRM with a couple of leading hotel groups in Europe.
Okay.
And that let us basically get out of COVID, where the platform was optimized to streamline processes, and also to enable our customers to build great customer experiences essentially. And that then has really fueled our growth, mostly after coming out of COVID. So we were lucky enough to have found those hotel groups that during COVID wanted to utilize that time to not stand still, but still move forward.
Got you. And you said you're a Swedish company as your main office. Do you have offices in different locations? How big are the team? A little bit on that side of things.
Yeah. So we are 26 people in the team today. And we are a semi-remote company, or remote-first company, we like to say, with different hubs, also in Europe. So a hub in Amsterdam, hub in Malmo in Sweden, in London and Barcelona, where we can all meet. But then also there's flexibility in working remotely and working from home.
Very good. Very good. You mentioned most of your hotels, Northwest Europe. Yeah. Is there a typical, I always ask this of everybody and everybody goes, no, we'll do business with anybody. But is there like a typical hotel that, size of property, type of property, branded, unbranded? Are there any kind of commonalities that lend itself towards you guys and where you've really carved out your niche at the moment? Or is it literally just anybody and anyone?
Yeah, no, there clearly is. And also the platform has been built for multi-property use. Having had that in mind from scratch, really, from day zero, as we saw most potential for groups, really. So the platform is super useful for independents, but it works it's probably even more powerful for groups as what it does is centralizing data. So it creates a centralized guest profile that then is really the fuel to the engine, so to speak. And then we've developed products for groups to automate their marketing, both from a group perspective, but it could also be from a property perspective, build guest journeys, and perform great customer service. And all of these products, it's built for multi-property use, and you can set all kinds of settings where you can define like who should have access to what and so forth. So it works really well for groups. And with relatively little effort, you can get a lot out of the tool, which more lean, centralized teams really appreciate, because they're often expected to handle a large amount of content and all that. And then a tool like Bookboost comes in very handy, where it automates a lot of that, and you can set up logics that then do it for you and so forth. So mid-sized hotel, hostel groups, service apartments is kind of our typical customer.
Okay. You've kind of given us a bit of an insight into what you guys are all about from a technological point of view. But now that we've got kind of those fundamentals of who and what you are, let's actually lean into the solution. So what is Bookboost? What are because it's not just one piece from, as you've indicated here, you know, there are a number of different areas to it. So talk us through it. What is the Bookboost solution?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a CRM platform, and we like to say it's a modern CRM. What we mean with that, when you look at the term CRM, there's plenty of different understandings that
just a bit
come about. We all have our interpretation of the word. Customer relationships management in the world we're living in today, to us, should mean that you can create a great customer experience. What is that for today's traveler? With us all being used to apps like Uber, Google Maps, you know, it's super easy to use. You don't even think about it, right? When you walk out and you go from A to B, you don't even think about it, because you always have your phone at hand and you just rely on Google Maps.
Absolutely.
That's the feeling we want travelers and hoteliers to have in our industry as well. So we've developed a platform that, from a platform perspective, first pulls data out of various systems that might be in use and creates one central guest profile. So that's really the foundation to deliver on our promise to build that platform where our customers can create this great customer experience. Because if you don't have the data to use, then you can have really good products, but if that works on data that is not that good of quality, or that sits in silos, etc., then these products are not as effective, right? So
absolutely
effective. And so that's what the platform does in the CDP. So there it creates a centralized guest profile. And then we offer various products on top of that with the CRM, where there's a marketing hub that automates marketing campaigns. So you can think of like win-back campaigns from OTAs, re-engagement newsletters, but also abandoned cart, when a website visitor browses around on the website and they made it all the way to the booking engine but don't convert. Like all these kind of examples from a marketing standpoint, and you can work with conditional logics and conditional content and so forth to automate a lot of it. So to go back to the previous point, for marketing teams that are sometimes expected to handle a lot of content with relatively lean teams, they can set up these logics and then set and forget, so to say, from a marketing standpoint, and increase customer lifetime value essentially. With customer lifetime value, it's not just marketing, but it's also about the guest journey, because when you have a great experience, you will want to come back to that. You might want to tell your friends and family about the great experience that you've had and so forth. So the other interface in the CRM is a guest journey builder, where it's a drag and drop builder where you can easily build guest journeys and include all transactional interactions, such as booking confirmation, online check-in, collecting feedback, checkout, sending invoice. But obviously that invoice should go out to the booker and the business guest, because the leisure guest might not need the invoice. And like there's a lot of nuance to personalize, because each of these interactions is personalized and customized to the specific needs of the guest.
Right.
So that's the second.
Down to an individual, down to like an individual guest, or you segmented guests like business guests.
Yeah,
or
you
leisure
segment.
guests,
So that's really the result of the centralized guest profile that then enables you to get access into your data, get to understand it from a group level, and there the interface also helps you to, basically explore interesting segments that that can be utilized.
Yeah, makes a lot of
But
sense.
also on an individual level, you can see exactly like as that guest booked with us before. Perhaps the guest booked with us before and used an online travel agency, and now they booked again and they booked direct, because then it's still able with our match and merge algorithm to centralize that around that single guest profile. So that's really the foundation. And one of the interfaces in the CDP is segmentation. So you can granularly build really precise segments, like perhaps you want to know all guests that have been with us once before, or perhaps you really want to specify that to what channel they've booked, their age, where they're from. Like you can granularly build that out. So that fits with the CDP.
And I guess that's where you could then, to your point about how it could work for an individual property, but for group or multiple properties, the ability to then, I guess, cross-sell your properties based on what you've seen has been happening, where they've stayed at another property and you want to promote maybe a different location or something like that. Yeah.
Totally. There's so much you can do with the data that's already accessible when you centralize it. And then the tool helps as well to enrich profiles. So sometimes you want to know more than is known from initially the booking.
Yeah.
For example, customer in Norway that asks, they're quite high end and they want to really tailor the experience to each and every guest. And they have a great spa facility as well. They ask through the guest app that Bookboost also offers. They ask the guest what size of bathrobe they would.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you fill in small, medium, large.
Yeah.
That's added to the profile, but then also an automation goes out next for housekeeping to schedule the tasks.
To make sure they've got the right size.
Yeah. So there's an operator side to it, but also to inform the guest about it. And these little things can make a big difference, because if you go home and it feels like you're really being taken care of, and maybe that came unexpectedly, that creates like a positive memory that you will want more of, and also that you will want to tell your friends and family about, because you've just experienced this great experience that you're happy with.
So being able to have something that the hotel has done that differentiates and becomes a talking point. That's I can see how that can be very effective. So it's a CDP, and we'll come back to that because I want to ask you some questions about that, because that's a terminology that's kind of come onto the radar in the last sort of year, 18 months. So CDP, and that underpins what you're doing as the CRM, and then, as you say, you've got that guest journey piece that you can build. And you said about an app. Did you?
So just about all the marketing hub and the guest journey. It's multi-channel, so it's not only email. It also goes on WhatsApp, SMS. So essentially, it enables our customers to send the right message to the right guest at the right time, because you have the segmentation. You have a lot of triggers as to when to send an interaction. Yeah. And you can use multi-channel. Right. And then there's a guest app indeed for like to perform online check-in, or to do up and cross-selling, or to collect feedback, and for the guests to see their reservation or reservations, their profile, if the hotel wants to express show any information, like also, and that's also lives upon that customer data platform. So you can also segment that. So as an example there, what our customers do is sometimes they make one guest app for leisure guests, one guest app for business guests, but also customers that have conference facilities. What they offer to their customers that book that is then to build an app, because you have a drag and drop editor. So it's almost as easy as you can build an email, because it comes with a drag and drop editor. You can build a guest app with a few nuances, but also drag and drop. You can build your own guest app, and then only make that accessible to those guests that belong to those particular guests that.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So you can develop an app that meets a profile of a type of guest that is going to be coming in, so only they can then utilize that.
Yeah. Everything within our platform is done with a perspective to personalize and customize the experience. Yeah. So that's for a WhatsApp message. That's for an email, but that's also for the guest app. Yeah. So
Interesting.
that's the outbound side of the platform. Yeah. Anything scheduled.
Yeah.
And then there's the inbound side, because guests may want to ask a question on email, on WhatsApp. We also have integrated OTA channels. And that's the product that does that, is a unified inbox. So that unifies different communication channels into one place.
Okay.
Also, there again, you have the centralized guest profile. So you know the relevant background, you know what's up with the guest, if there's anything to know about the guest that have come up throughout previous.
So when you're responding back to them, ability to be able to look and see the guest and what you know about the guest, you could tailor your response to be not only answering, but maybe there may be something related in additional information that you have that you can bring into that message to reinforce that personalization and engagement with the guests and treating them individually rather than with a stock standard answer.
Totally. And when you can do that throughout the organization and work cross departmental to always deliver that personalized service, you start to see the greatest results.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Just to finish off with the unified inbox, because I can imagine it's a lot of information. The unified inbox centralizes all those channels, but it's built like a ticketing system. So you can also set up logics to work throughout the whole organization with like different teams and so forth. Like maybe a booking related question should go to the centralized reservation team. Maybe a question about the property should go to the host on property directly. Then it comes with AI and smart features to help the operators to be efficient and consistent in their responses. So that's the inbox in a nutshell. And just to round that up, back to what I said in the beginning, like CRM. To us, this is a CRM because it enables our customers to create a great customer relationship, or to manage their customer relationship. And that's what the platform helps our customers to do, really.
So it's really useful that you summed up or reiterated your point from the beginning at the end there about how you interpret what a CRM is. Because one of the questions I was going to ask you is, there are lots of CRMs out there. How would you summarize out the difference and why a specific dedicated CRM is better placed?
Yeah, totally. So to answer that question, I also think it's good to distinguish between a B2B and a B2C CRM, or a sales
good point.
versus marketing CRM, where Bookboost really is a B2C marketing CRM, right?
Okay.
So for B2B, that could be sort of a different point of view. But zooming in on B2C and marketing CRMs, where a hotel-specific CRM comes with like first of all, the whole data challenge that is quite specific to hotels, because of course we all know with OTAs trying to kind of there's always this power play or balance.
A little battle going on.
And it's not that easy from a data perspective, and OTAs do make some efforts to try and withhold you from being able to use your data from a hotelier's perspective. So that's the first thing where, for a hotel-specific CRM, what you should be able to expect is that that's taken care of, so that the system understands if a booking has been made on an OTA, and a few weeks later the same guest books directly through the website, that's the same individual. Again, going to that data challenge. So there are some nuance.
That is a challenge.
But then also the products that you can use, where a generic CRM is not optimized for a hotelier's use cases. A hotel CRM should be. So for the hotel CRM, there's a lot of use cases that are particular to a hotel, right? Both from a marketing standpoint, but also from that guest journey perspective, where typically a generic CRM doesn't include guest journey because that's specific for hotels and so forth. So
that makes a lot of sense.
I would strongly recommend to always look at a hotel-specific CRM. You can get that far if you connect all the dots and do the data handling yourself with quite some effort with a generic CRM, but it will only get you that far. If you really want to, if you really want to go towards personalization and customizing the experience for hotel guests, then I would strongly recommend looking at a hotel-specific CRM.
While CRM is a very, as you highlighted, generic term, the way that it can break down into different areas and different focuses is important for someone to be evaluating that the tool is actually fit for the purpose they need it to do. That makes a lot of sense. So let me throw another question at you when we're talking about competition. You're not the only CRM player, I'm sure, that's in the hotel space. So what makes Bookboost, in your eyes, what makes Bookboost stand out compared to the other players in the sector?
Yeah, I do believe that Bookboost, going back to that to the interpretation of CRM, really delivers up on what it should be. So again, customer relationships management should be more than sending the right marketing campaign.
Yeah.
It should be more than doing one thing in the guest journey. It's like it should all come together. And there's both that outbound perspective where each and every interaction should be relevant to that specific guest from a marketing standpoint, from a guest journey perspective, and also the inbound, because it's still like, even if you do the outbound really well, there will be less questions, especially like sort of practically oriented questions, like what time is check-in or whatever, because that's clear because you already got that information.
You got that right, yeah.
Yeah. But I still might want to ask and might get in touch, like, hey, this weekend is really important for me because I'm bringing my parents and I want to get the greatest experience. Or I have I come with my girlfriend and I want to make a great experience. Please help me with some excellent tips on what I can do in the city and things like that. Like, these are opportunities to create an experience, and these are good questions to get, right? And this is also, I think, what really moves us to. It's at the end, it's a human to human industry. Like, if we can help someone else have a great time, I think that's what it's all about. And a CRM should have both that outbound and inbound to really make that like a circle and to deliver upon personalized service and customizing the experience. And that's at least our vision, to bring that together into one platform. And hence, we've developed the CDP, the CRM with marketing, with guest journey, with guest app, and then a unified inbox for the customer service part.
Makes a lot of sense. You've mentioned it a couple of times, and I said I'd come to it because you mentioned CDP, this customer data platform. It sounds as if I'll let you explain it, because I'm interested to see how this has evolved, because there's always been data within a CRM, but this terminology, customer data platform, which, listening to you, really underpins. It's almost like we had the CRM and that worked, but we hadn't quite understood we needed this data platform. Now that we got the data platform, that's what provides the fuel or the ammunition for the CRM and the tools to be able to do its work. So talk me through it. Have I kind of got it's like a chicken and egg scenario, which one came first? But it felt like we had the chicken, but we kind of needed the egg, or the other way around.
Yeah, no, totally. And at least the way we explain it, because again, there can be different interpretations, and to be honest, you can also explain it in different ways, looking at the definition slightly differently. So that sounds very complicated, but I can explain how we view things and why we've separated the CDP and the CRM. So what the CDP does is it pulls data out of the property management system. Sometimes there's other systems that are being in use where valuable data sits, for example, the POS system. And then it centralizes that. It creates one guest profile per individual and matches and merges anything around that, right? So,
and that's the bit where you're able to check, as you said, your example earlier, if there's an OTA booking a while ago and then another booking, it would be the CDP that is looking at all those different bits of data and saying, hey, this is the same person. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. And it keeps track of anything like a history of products that might have been purchased in the past. Consent is another thing. Like, there's a lot that has to be kept track of. And that's the data in part and the data storage. Then there's also data out. Because, for example, when our customers utilize the guest journey and the guest app for online check-in, that data has to be written back into the property management system, because it's essential that the property management system understands that too, right? It's really like why we've separated the CDP and the CRM is to create a centralized dashboard where data comes in and data goes out. And literally our CRM communicates with the CDP as well.
Yep.
But sometimes we also connect other systems to the CDP
Mm-hmm.
to really make that ecosystem of tech that a hotel group might use to make that connected and seamless. Yeah.
Got you. That makes a lot of sense. I always used to use an analogy, and I don't know if this works, but I always used to think of a hotel like a body, and the different technology parts being like organs of the body. You know, the heart, the lungs, whatever it may be. And I always felt the organ that was missing was the brain.
Yeah.
And in a way, to me, when I started to see the CDP, it almost feels as if that's the place where all the knowledge is being stored. That's like the early days of the brain. And you could kind of almost see that in time, that would evolve. So as something happens in one piece of technology, that will send a piece of information to the CDP.
Yeah.
And then the CDP will trigger a reaction in something else to create another reaction, in much the same way that our brain is always sensing what's going on in our organs and then feeding information back to different parts. And I think that's why it quite interests me. It feels like the brain of the hotel in a way.
Yeah, it's really interesting and fun you bring that up. And such a coincidence, because we literally just had that conversation a couple of weeks ago when one of our team members brought up the same thing. Like, because the heart of a hotel can be considered the property management system for operating it.
Yep.
And then the brain could be the CRM, where it's all about customer lifetime value.
Yeah.
Which is the main metric that also we look at and build around. Yeah.
Okay. No, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Conscious of your time, and these are normally relatively short conversations, but it's fascinating to talk it through. So you've outlined what you do, which is pretty sophisticated. You've articulated the CRM, the CDP. You've articulated the importance of the guest experience, the ability, the personalization, and also the versatility that exists, and the way that the hotel can personalize your solutions to the way it needs to use them for its guests. So to me, I can see a lot of value as a hotelier. So I guess the obvious question I ask is, why isn't every hotel signing up? I guess you want them all to sign up, but you guys have a sales team, you have a marketing team that's creating awareness and going out there to try and win clients, and you're winning some, but I'm sure there's some knockbacks. Where does the reticent exist? And what would be your message to kind of make people get over that resistance, maybe?
Yeah, we've not silently, but we've worked many years on getting the platform in where it is now, and indeed it's quite sophisticated and quite broad to some extent. But we really wanted to challenge ourselves and deliver on that promise. Like, what do we believe a CRM should be? And that has taken us time to co-develop with several hotel groups the platform to where it is now, and that has also led to great and very interesting use cases that we can now use also to market ourselves, and that's actually what we're focused on right now. So our goal is to be more visible, to introduce Bookboost to a larger amount of people, to introduce more people to do a demo with us, because the platform is in great shape now, and we're ready to sort of go into that phase now.
Got you. So so from that, you think the feeling is more about just hotels have always known about the PMS. They've heard about the RMS, which has been around for a number of years now, and that was the latest thing. They've always had a channel manager or booking engine. You feel part of the issue is just hoteliers not understanding enough about what the CRM, about the CDP, what the value is, and that's why so it's not so much a cost issue from a hotel that, oh goodness me, these things are really, really expensive per se. It's more just okay, what's this all about? How does it benefit me? You feel that's where the bigger challenge is?
from my perspective, I would argue it can never be a cost issue, and we can clearly indicate what returns it brings.
Yep.
And technology can really be pivotal for hoteliers to streamline a lot of the day-to-day that otherwise has to be done by a human, that are not necessarily high value tasks. Like,
Yep.
people like to look at low value and high value tasks. Low value tasks is anything like filling in a form or doing something in the background that doesn't necessarily add value towards the guest, or that's visible towards the guest. So that frees up time to be more present with the guest, and simply have more resources for that. But yeah, essentially, I think that we like, yeah, there's other than the cost factor, there's change involved. It's of course it's not just like purchasing and you're done. I mean, it's a bit of a process, and the team has to be on board. And but typically, when we introduce Bookboost to new customers, they're super excited.
Yeah.
And then it's about finding the right time and the right plan of approach to make that change in an organization.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I think that's often something we hear consistently whenever we have these conversations with our partners. You know, it's that recognition from the hotel that sometimes the focus can be very. This is not saying hoteliers are short-termistic, but often their focus is about dealing with the guests that are on property, providing that best experience for them, and everything else is kind of taken off as a part of sales and marketing. And it's looking at technology not as the cost, but as an investment. And there's an element of financial investment, but also time investment. But recognizing it's a medium term in the sense of weeks and months.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's many of us at Bookboost are from the industry, so we can really empathize with the daily challenges that comes with operating a hotel. And when you're constantly sort of working on reactive tasks that come towards you, it can also be challenging to zoom out from that, right, and really think forward. But quite frankly, at the same time, those that are able to do that can really benefit from it in a more sustainable way, because you can set up logics, you can set up automations, so that you eliminate some of these tasks that come your way that you're just doing every day, and so forth. So then it can really free up space. And our role is to keep communicating that, to keep showing that, to keep proving that, and to keep helping our customers. And we're very excited to keep on doing that, basically.
Yeah, brilliant. And we're delighted to have you on board, and looking forward to having more discussions with you to help you get that message out there. So that's all the questions from our side. So thank you so much for taking the time, and look forward to talking with you again in the future.
Thank you so much for having me.
Take care. Well, I hope that conversation was of interest, and thanks again to Dan for joining us. If you have any thoughts or views on this conversation, please feel free to comment below. If you like the discussion, please don't forget a thumbs up. And if you're interested in more of our videos, here is a link to our Expert Insights playlist. Here is the link to our Coffee Time Chat playlist. And here is the button if you'd like to subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. Thanks again for watching.